Hope you are doing well. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a common mystery: why you understand English perfectly, but speaking it feels like climbing a mountain. You're not alone in this. Millions around the world face this exact challenge. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this happens but also gain powerful insights and practical motivation to finally bridge that gap and speak English with confidence and a strong American accent. This isn't just about language, it's about unlocking your voice and connecting with the world. Let's begin our story. Imagine a young woman named Aisha. Aisha loved English. She devoured English books. She watched American movies. She understood every word. Her comprehension was excellent. She could follow complex plots. She could grasp intricate dialogues. Yet, when someone spoke to her in English, her mind went blank. Her tongue felt heavy. Words just wouldn't come out. This was Aisha's daily struggle. It frustrated her deeply. She felt like a prisoner. A prisoner in her own linguistic mind. Aisha's story is very common. Many people share it. They spend years learning. They learn grammar rules. They learn vast vocabulary. They practice reading. They practice listening. They become great at understanding. But speaking is different. It's a completely different skill. Why is this so? Let's explore this together. Let's uncover the reasons. One major reason is passive learning. Think about it. When you read, you consume information. When you listen, you also consume. This is passive. You are taking in data. Your brain is decoding it. It's making sense of it. But you are not producing anything. Speaking is an active process. It requires production. It requires forming thoughts. It requires forming sentences. It requires moving your mouth. It requires moving your tongue. It requires making sounds. These are all active steps. Your brain needs training. It needs training to produce. It needs training to react quickly. Consider a chef. A chef can read recipes. A chef can watch cooking shows. They understand everything. They know ingredients. They know techniques. But can they cook a meal? Not without practice. Not without active cooking. They need to chop. They need to stir. They need to taste. They need to adjust. Speaking is like cooking. You need to actually do it. You need to produce the sounds. You need to produce the words. You need to produce the sentences. Another reason is fear of making mistakes. This is a big one. We all want to be perfect. We fear sounding foolish. We fear being misunderstood. This fear paralyzes us. It stops us from even trying. Imagine learning to ride a bike. You fall down. You get scraped knees. It's part of the process. If you never try, you never learn. Speaking a new language is similar. Mistakes are part of it. They are not failures. They are learning opportunities. Each mistake teaches you something. It shows you where to improve. It shows you what you need to focus on. Embrace them. Learn from them. Don't let fear hold you back. Aisha felt this fear intensely. She would rehearse sentences. She would rehearse conversations in her head. They sounded perfect. But when the moment came, her confidence vanished. The fear took over. She would clam up. She would nod and smile instead. This made her even more frustrated. It created a cycle. A cycle of fear and silence. Then there's the lack of practice. This sounds simple. But it's crucial. You can't learn to swim by reading a book. You can't learn to play an instrument by just listening. You need to get in the water. You need to play the notes. The same is true for speaking. You need to speak. You need to speak consistently. You need to speak regularly. Even if it's just for 5 minutes. Even if it's just to yourself. Regular practice builds fluency. It builds confidence. It builds muscle memory. Yes, speaking uses muscles. Your tongue, your lips, your jaw. They all need exercise. They need to get used to new movements. They need to get used to new sounds. Aisha realized this. She spent hours listening. She spent hours reading. But she never spoke. She had no speaking partners. She had no safe space. She didn't force herself. She stayed in her comfort zone. Her comfort zone was silent. It was passive. It was not helping her speak. Pronunciation and accent also play a role. You might understand perfectly. But your own pronunciation might be different. Your accent might be different. This can make you hesitant. You might worry you won't be understood. Or that your English won't sound right. This is where focusing on a target accent helps. Like a strong American accent. It gives you a clear goal. It gives you specific sounds to aim for. Practice these sounds. Mimic native speakers. Listen to their rhythm. Listen to their intonation. This builds confidence. It builds clarity. Aisha wanted an American accent. She loved the sound of it. But she never practiced speaking with it. She only heard it. She only absorbed it passively. She never actively produced it. This was a missing piece. A very important missing piece. Another factor is thinking in your native language. When you try to speak English, your brain might first translate. It translates your thoughts from your native language. Then it translates them into English. This process takes time. It slows you down. It makes your speech halting. It makes it unnatural. The goal is to think directly in English. This is challenging. But it's achievable. How do you do it? Start small. Think of simple objects. Think of simple actions. Label them in English. Narrate your day in English. Internally at first. Describe what you see. Describe what you do. This trains your brain. It trains it to bypass translation. It trains it to think directly in English. Aisha found herself constantly translating. She would form a sentence in her native language. Then she would try to convert it. This made her slow. It made her stumble. Her conversations became awkward pauses. She knew this was a problem. But she didn't know how to stop. Lack of immersive environment is also significant. If you're not surrounded by English, it's harder to speak it. You don't get constant exposure. You don't get constant opportunities. This doesn't mean you have to move to an English-speaking country. But you can create your own immersion. Listen to English podcasts. Watch English TV shows. Watch English movies. Not just for understanding. Watch them for the speaking. Mimic the characters. Repeat their lines. Sing along to English songs. Read aloud in English. This creates a kind of immersion. It surrounds you with the language. It makes it feel more natural. Aisha lived in a country where English wasn't the main language. She didn't have many English-speaking friends. Her exposure was limited. She needed to create her own opportunities. She needed to actively seek them out. She needed to build her own English world. Now, let's talk about overthinking grammar. Many learners get stuck here. They worry about every tense. They worry about every article. They worry about every preposition. This leads to hesitation. It leads to self-correction. It interrupts the flow of speech. While grammar is important, fluency comes first. Focus on getting your message across. Focus on communicating your idea. Don't let perfect grammar be the enemy of good communication. You can refine grammar later. Practice speaking freely first. Make mistakes. Get the words out. The more you speak, the more natural grammar becomes. You'll start to internalize the rules. You'll use them without thinking. Aisha was a grammar expert. She knew all the rules. She could identify mistakes in other speech. But this knowledge hindered her. She was so busy checking her own grammar. She couldn't speak smoothly. She couldn't speak naturally. She needed to let go. She needed to prioritize flow. Finally, there's the emotional barrier. Learning a language is not just intellectual. It's deeply emotional. It touches your identity. It touches your confidence. If you feel discouraged, you won't speak. If you feel anxious, you won't speak. Building a positive emotional connection is key. Celebrate small victories. Acknowledge your progress. Be kind to yourself. This emotional support empowers you. It gives you the courage to try. It gives you the courage to keep going. Aisha felt the weight of her inability to speak. It made her feel less capable. It impacted her self-esteem. She needed to shift her mindset. She needed to recognize her strengths. She needed to celebrate her understanding. She needed to turn her frustration into fuel. So, what did Aisha do? She started small. She decided to dedicate just 5 minutes each day to active speaking. Not reading, not listening, but speaking. She started by narrating her day. She would wake up. She would say, "I am waking up. The sun is shining. I will make coffee. She did this silently at first. Then she started whispering. Then she started speaking aloud. She didn't worry about perfection. She focused on getting the words out. Next, she found a language exchange partner online. Someone who wanted to learn her native language. In return, they would speak English. They started with short, simple conversations. They talked about their day. They talked about their hobbies. Aisha made many mistakes. Her partner corrected her gently. She learned to embrace the corrections. She saw them as help, not as judgment. She also started mimicking her favorite American actors. She would watch a scene. Then she would pause it. She would repeat the lines. She focused on their intonation. She focused on their rhythm. She focused on their accent. This felt like a game. It made practice fun. It made her less self-conscious. She noticed her tongue felt more agile. Her mouth felt more comfortable forming the sounds. To combat thinking in her native language, she started labeling things around her house in English. She put sticky notes on objects. Table. Chair. Window. Book. She started thinking of actions in English. When she walked, she thought, I am walking. When she ate, she thought, I am eating. This slowly rewired her brain. It trained it to think directly in English. She reduced her focus on perfect grammar. She realized communicating was more important. She focused on getting her ideas across. If she said, me go store, instead of, I am going to the store, she didn't stop. She kept going. She knew she could refine it later. The important thing was to speak. The important thing was to communicate. Most importantly, Aisha cultivated self-compassion. She celebrated every small win. When she managed a full sentence, she felt proud. When she understood a complex question and responded, she cheered herself on. She realized learning was a journey. It wasn't a sprint. There would be good days. There would be bad days. She learned to be patient with herself. She learned to be persistent. Aisha's journey wasn't magical. It took time. It took effort. But she consistently chipped away at her speaking barrier. Slowly, her confidence grew. Her speech became smoother. Her accent became clearer. The words that were once trapped now flowed freely. She could finally express herself fully in English. She could connect with people from around the world. She could share her ideas. She could share her stories. She truly unlocked her voice. So, what have we learned from Aisha's story? We've learned that understanding and speaking are different skills. We've learned about the silent barriers, passive learning, fear of mistakes, lack of practice, pronunciation challenges, native language interference, lack of immersion, overthinking grammar, and emotional hurdles. Now, what do you need to do? What changes can you make in your life? First, shift from passive to active. Don't just read and listen. Actively produce the language. Speak aloud. Even if it's to yourself. Narrate your day. Describe what you see. Describe what you feel. Second, embrace mistakes. They are your teachers. Don't let the fear of imperfection paralyze you. Every time you try, you learn. Every mistake is a step forward. Third, practice consistently. Even short bursts of practice are powerful. 5 minutes a day of active speaking is better than an hour once a week. Make it a habit. Make it part of your routine. Fourth, focus on pronunciation and accent. Mimic native speakers. Listen to the rhythm. Listen to the intonation. Practice the sounds of a strong American accent. Resources are abundant online. Use them. Fifth, start thinking in English. Label objects. Narrate your thoughts. Bypass the translation step. This will make your speech more natural and fluent. Sixth, create your own immersion. Surround yourself with English. Listen, watch, and read for speaking practice, not just for understanding. Repeat what you hear. Sing along. Seventh, prioritize fluency over perfect grammar. Get your message across. Don't let the quest for perfection silence you. Grammar will improve with practice. Finally, cultivate self-compassion. This is crucial. Be kind to yourself. Celebrate your progress. Recognize your efforts. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Your emotional state profoundly impacts your ability to speak. Now, it's your turn. Don't just watch this video and understand. Take action. Start today. Pick one small step from what we discussed. Practice for just 5 minutes. Find a speaking partner. Narrate your morning routine. Whatever it is, start speaking. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Don't let your understanding be a silent one any longer. Unlock your voice, share your thoughts, and connect with the world. Start speaking your English, today.